Good morning, class. It is April 22nd, 2020, and we are in day whatever of the quarantine. I'm losing my mind. How about you? So, yesterday and the day before, we went over what is a Disney classical princess. A lot of misconceptions that I got, and clear evidence that you don't watch my videos, is that a classical princess is not just like it's a classic Disney movie. No, like it has to do with the type of character that we're talking about, right? That a classical Disney princess, in so many words, is basically the idea that this princess is inferior to a male, right? That this female is, helpless. They are unaware of their surroundings and what's going on. They need a knight in shining armor to save them, and they are treated as though they are like a little doll, like that they're just like, oh, they're so delicate, we need to take care of them. Like they don't take care of themselves. So today, a few years later, we see new types of Disney princesses, right? So if you're considering Cinderella, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty, they're very different from characters like Ariel and characters like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And here's why. So, the transitional, right, this is the second phase, that the transitional princess is a type of princess that comes after the classical, right? So if the classical is the entirely helpless woman who needs to have a man to rescue her, the transitional princess is not quite yet modern, right? We're not at the point of Moana yet, and we'll have that discussion later. But the transitional princess has to do with a more active character, right? Where if you've ever seen Little Mermaid, or if you haven't, you'll find out in a second. If you've seen Little Mermaid, Ariel is the one who goes on the adventure. She's the one that's taking all the risks. She's the one that's, making the mistakes. Whereas in Sleeping Beauty, who's asleep for, 80% of that movie, Ariel is, on this adventure. She's trying to find this guy. She wants to see what it's like to be human and fall in love. And even with Belle, right? She goes to save her father, right? The damsel in distress position in that movie, in the very beginning, turns out to be her father. That she's rescuing a man. But they're not quite entirely independent, because what happens at the end of... Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. What happens at the end of Beauty and the Beast? She marries the prince. What happens at the end of The Little Mermaid? She marries the human man. So, while it's different in the sense that these characters have a little bit more agency, right, which means they have a little bit more control over what it is that they do, they're not entirely out of that realm of needing a man, right? That they still, at the end of it, the happy ending is that they have to get married. So while they are doing more for themselves, at the end of it, they're still kind of being defined by the male characters in it, and sort of, in a sense, being controlled, but it's very, very different. So classical, just to reiterate for the kids that have been having issues looking at my videos, the classical princess is completely helpless, is treated as though she is like a little glass doll that needs to be taken care of, needs to be rescued, needs to be saved, and she can't do anything for herself. The transitional princess, the second one, where you see with Ariel and Belle from Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, they are more active. They are the heroes of their own story. But for them to have a happy ending, they need to marry a man. They need to marry a prince, or they need to be married, right? That's their ultimate goal, is to be married. Or not their ultimate goal, but that's what ends up happening to them. So, for this assignment, what I want you to do is that we're going to see, or the instructions read as this. As we see, transitional princesses like Ariel and Belle are a bit more active in their own stories. They have their own desires and are driven to get what they want in life, right? Ariel wants to go see what it's like. She wants to be an adventurer and see what it's like on the land. And Belle wants to rescue her father, who's been kidnapped by the Beast. So for this assignment, you're going to compare and contrast the archetypes of a classic Disney princess and a transitional Disney princess. So all the information is on this video. What I want you to do for the assignment is that you're not just going to be comparing and contrasting what, the definitions of these archetypes, but I want you to use the characters to support your claims, right? So talk a little bit about Snow White, talk about a little bit about Cinderella. What are their roles in the movie, and how do they compare and how do they differ from characters like Ariel and Belle? Because there are certain things that they have in common. Think about the ending, what I was talking about earlier. And they clearly have a lot of things that are different in their stories. So that is it for today. It is going to be a quick little lesson, because tomorrow we are going to be going over the modern Disney princess, which is where we're at now. And then afterwards, we're going to go a little bit into why are these princesses different? Why aren't they all the same? So, as always, smash that like button, subscribe, and make sure that you turn in your work by 3 p.m. today. And I will see you all tomorrow, bright and early.